And welcome to the Rebel Love Show. We are a once-a-week broadcast from Manchester, New Hampshire, where we are pro-pots, pro-gun, and pro-coffee. You can find all of our content at rebelloveshow.com. I am Mathias.
And I am the Rebel Mistress.
And our guest today is none other than Uber activist extraordinaire, Christopher David.
Hi there.
How's it going, sir?
Quite good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that's good to hear.
It's a pleasure to have you.
We haven't seen you in so long. I feel like we haven't seen you since
it was Uber. It was
the
a city
trial,
council,
right?
Yeah, city council meeting.
So how you been?
I've been quite good. You know, created a live human being.
Congrats, by the way.
Deal. Oh, you created a little person.
Thank you. Yep.
What's his name?
Cyrus. I just did the easy part. She had to carry him for 9 months, but yeah, I provided moral support.
Well, I'm glad you got to witness the birth of your child. Was it scary thinking you're going to be in jail there for a while?
It was, absolutely. We had a kind of I was so prepared there to just like fight them and evade the arrest warrant. But, you know, given that we didn't know when the baby would pop out, it was like, you know, we had a conversation. It's like, just get it over with. So turned myself in, and luckily the baby didn't come for another like week after that. So the timing ended up working out.
Well, we're going to have to get more into that situation. I mean, we were just facing, you know,
that's just this morning and this afternoon.
Just trying to face, not us like avoiding arrest or something, but someone we know. The cops were there to arrest them, but I think we'll talk about that a bit later.
We'll get into a whole segment on that.
But from that point on, like, I don't even remember my weekend because like I can't even focus on anything but today. I just want to clear my mind. So this is a drinking show.
Yeah. This is definitely a drinking show. Like today
Cheers.
Cheers. But today was like a crazy day with like, you know, I'm not used to being like threatened with arrest just for not talking, not cooperating. And
we both were threatened with arrest today.
Yeah.
Who would take care of Riker?
The weekend was fantastic, though, and every weekend is with you, baby doll.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, we saw the Christmas Carol, and I think it put Rob in the Christmas spirit.
It kind of did until the cops, Scrooge came around. And,
the cops are Scrooge. Are you in the Christmas spirit, Christopher David?
I'm in the Hanukkah spirit. Shalom. So Christmas spirit, kind of. I grew up in a half Christian, half Unitarian family, and I'm now. Kayla's got a half Christian, half Jewish family, so it's all kind of like, we'll do Hanukkah and the Christmas. We need all of the things.
Nice.
There you go.
All of the presents, give them to me.
So you're Jewish. Got that?
No, just kind of everything
just
and
everything.
Nothing, just amorphous. All yes.
So what triggered your activism? Because I was gonna say maybe it's like being
was
it religion?
No.
That's it.
Going back to the beginning. Initially it was the Iraq War.
Which one?
The first. Well, let's see. The 2003 one. I started paying attention to foreign policy after 9/11. I was in high school, and around middle of 2002, I started paying close attention to the drumbeat of the Bush administration, saying all this stuff about Iraq having WMD, and you know, I knew enough to confirm this via independent media, and everyone was saying the polar opposite. And so I just was following that situation very closely. My first ever kind of political event was going to an anti-war protest in DC in February of 2003, the largest simultaneous protest ever.
I remember those.
And it made not one single bit of difference. So that kind of turned me into a super bitter activist, you know, intent on tearing down the system that causes this.
That was before I woke up. So I remember those like anti-war protests, and I remember thinking, like, what are these people protesting? Like, this needs to happen, blah blah blah. Like, I was so in the wrong back then.
Oh wow!
And I remember seeing like there was protests. There was like a coordinated protest across like most of the planet, especially in the U.S. Like there were cities in D.C., New York, Chicago, L.A., and other ones where they had like 20,000 some people in each city. It was huge. Like they shut down. Like I remember watching from Chicago. Like there was protests like shutting down multiple streets in a march and stuff like that. And that did nothing because Bush still
that's the thing.
went to war.
I think that's the thing that drags everyone over that like political line to like either anarchist or libertarian, is realizing that your efforts do nothing. And for me, it wasn't even me. It was watching Derek J's efforts result in nothing. Like watching him go to court, watching him like debate his case. And then, you know, the end result is no one cares what you're saying. Like they basically laughed at him and like go to jail. And that's how easy it is. And I think that's what made me like, this is so like wrong in so many ways. Like, how can I make this better, I guess, or just avoid it all?
Yeah, no, I agree. When you got Christopher, when you got to with the whole anti-war like that like, did you take a hiatus from that after that, or from the activism? Like that was kind of like your starting point?
Or you got the Free State Project?
Let's see. 2003, after that whole thing, I got into Alex Jones and conspiracy theories, and kind of went all the way down the rabbit hole and bounced back, you know, to the point where I was like reading the David Icke books about like reptilian lizards and global.
Let me ask you something about David Icke. Would you say David Icke is the Stefan Molyneux of the truther movement?
I feel like that would be a little harsh on Molyneux. I don't know. But yeah, just like one thing I'll say in Icke's favor was just reading these 900-page books, like word for word. It really makes you like start to look around the world at like patterns that you might have missed. So even though, you know, the conclusions Icke came to were for, can I cuss on this on the air?
Yes, absolutely.
Were fucking batshit crazy. It did kind of get me thinking like, yeah, what are the like patterns that drive global affairs? And that got me looking more into like the really in-depth like guts of foreign policy and what is driving U.S. presence overseas. So I, you know, got into some like more scholarly work. This one scholar in particular, Nafiz Ahmed, wrote some amazing books, detailing in harsh detail like the truth about U.S. foreign policy. He had one book, Behind the War on Terror, that just showed like all of the terrible stuff about the first Gulf War and the depleted uranium and just the lies that led us into that war, and how that pattern repeated in 2003. And I'm like, okay, there's a pattern here. There's something systemic that needs to be rooted out. I don't see anyone in the major parties talking about this. I'd kind of assumed at that point that I was a leftist Democrat, because when I went to these, you know, rallies in DC sponsored primarily by Answer, Act Now to Stop War and End Racism, you know, half of the signs are anti-war, but half of the signs are every leftist cause under the sun. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, free healthcare, free Tibet, free, yeah, okay, I guess I'm a leftist because these are the people protesting. So I assumed that I was on that side. And so, you know, the 2004 election was the first election I was old enough to vote in. Could not bring myself to vote for John Kerry because he just seemed like Bush light to me. And I just had been kind of completely written off all politics as stupid and a sham and a waste of time until May of 2007. I tuned into the Republican debate just to see what these fucking neocons are saying, and saw that exchange between Ron Paul and Rudy Giuliani, where Paul is talking about this concept of blowback, which I had studied. And I ended up majoring in international relations in college and did all this independent research on foreign policy. And like, I had not heard a single politician on either side of the aisle mention the word blowback, let alone on a national televised debate, define what blowback is and defend against this Mr. 9/11. Yes, actually 9/11 was, you know, blowback for shit that we do over there. Like, so that got me like looking into Ron Paul hardcore. And probably within 2 months after that, I was like a card carrying libertarian spouting Rothbard.
Wow.
Well, I went down that rabbit hole similar. Like I went down the whole Alex Jones.
But you're not like quite the politico. Like Chris is quite the politico, it seems. Like.
Don't swear at me.
Well, more when we come back.
Cryptocurrency and peer-to-peer
Oh, hey,
tech
that's Amanda
developments
Billy Rock's new
happen
commercial. I
fast.
haven't heard that yet.
Stay in the loop with the
All
Daily
right.
Decrypt.
Give me a second.
a
I'll
new
grab
video
another
channel
beer.
and podcast that will keep you on top of the latest innovations in crypto
Shirt.
finance, security, networking, transportation, and gadgetry like drones and 3D printers. Subscribe to the Daily Decrypt on YouTube and SoundCloud and be an early adopter of the future. The Daily Decrypt.
Can the YouTubes hear us?
Yeah.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday, we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view along with our little spin as well. And we wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com, advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Lives pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it. Get notifications. It's an easy way to see ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
To the Shire because I saw videos of challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The new.
I love that guy's voice.
Our world,
I want him to do a commercial for the Rebel Love Show.
Your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a forward by Dr. Ron Paul with discounts for multiple books.
Oh, the guy with the
Our World is a great gift
with the logo you got designing.
Environmentalists and Christians in your life who think
Chris, have you ever used Fiverr?
Get yours today.
I haven't used it, but I'm familiar with it.
And use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
And
You
like,
can put
this
the
is just
Liberty
not what I asked
on
for.
the air
I
and
don't,
Not
I
at
don't
all.
need to explain what I asked for, but just know that this wasn't it.
It's not even close.
LRN.FM.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. And if you didn't know, you can call in. Yes, we have call-ins. Finally, we've been wanting to do this forever and ever. So if you want to join Rob and myself and Christopher David over here, founder of Free Uber, and ask us any questions, or just tell us why you hate bureaucrats, because we all do. Maybe not Chris. I don't know. I'll ask him. But Skype in. Join us on Skype. Our Skype name is Rebel Love Show. So go ahead and call in.
Yeah, add us as a contact. I'll cue up the audio when we're ready. So hit us up if you want to chat with us. It's kind of our maiden voyage with Skype. So it took me about, God, it took me about 3 or 4 Shire years to figure out how to get Skype to work, because I have a crazy setup going. If this was just like a YouTube channel, like by itself, and that's it, I could have easily done Skype. It would just be using one PC. It's simplistic, but we have like multiple computers, one going out to LRN and IPM, another one going out to just a YouTube. So in that setup, it was complicated. I'm not a sound engineer. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, Riker's the sound engineer.
Yeah.
So before we and Riker's our puppy, in case you didn't know. So before we left, we were getting into like I guess I wanted to talk about we have, sorry, I can't even see that. We have Bitcoin and Andrew Hemingway on the list. But before we get into that, I just wanted to ask like your perspective on minarchy, because it seems like you are a minarchist, right? Or what?
No. I'm a voluntarist. If I could push the button to abolish the state tomorrow, I would. I am a Rothbardian anarcho-capitalist, and I have what I think is similar views to the political process as Ron Paul. Just having studied him closely since 2007, what I'd call the Ron Paul strategy is use the big broadcasting tower to your ends if you can. He ran for president not thinking at all that he would win, but as a way to get his message out. He said the same stuff for 30 years and no one really paid attention to him until he ran for president, which he couldn't win, but it gave him a platform to say stuff that attracted people like me who would fly to Iowa and just bleed for him to get the message out and get more people involved, expose the ideas of liberty. I just laugh hard at and know how accurate it is. This meme that's going around now, like, Rand Paul's biggest problem is that you have, all these people who were Ron Paul supporters, then followed it to their logical conclusion, which is voluntarism, and they're just done with the political process. I'm completely there, except on foreign policy, because the Donald Trump, who is the president, could hit the button that starts like the nuclear conflagration. So I'm not ready to check out of politics entirely just yet.
Are you not ready for the apocalypse? Is that it?
Not ready for it. Nope.
I haven't
played enough Fallout 4. I'm not psychologically ready for it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, my thing with like, I'm all in favor of like anarchists and libertarians, volunteers, whatever the fuck you want to call yourselves. I'm all in favor of them jumping in the political scene and doing what they can from the inside.
I feel like it's like infiltrating the clan, and then you just have to kill a few members to get the Grand Wizard, and then Grand Master, Grand Dragon, and then you'll become Grand Dragon, aka the president. But
that's what politicians do.
Yeah, I just feel like you have to like cross some moral boundaries, like if you're gonna like run for state. Not necessarily. I don't really know like how in depth you are. Like you work on people's campaigns. Is that your job, Chris?
It's one of the things that I do.
Okay, so like for me, I just feel like because I'm already outside of the system, like I've never voted, I feel like I never will vote. I feel like whatever people's means to like having a freer society or spreading liberty is cool. I think some people should do it. I just kind of feel like how many like moral boundaries do you have to step over to kind of believe in like or vote or run for office?
Well, I mean, there's a difference between like running as an anarchist or a voluntarist into office, and there's a whole nother thing is like playing the politician. Like this is my beef with Rand Paul, is he's not his dad. His dad spoke the same thing over and over and over again. He ran on an educational platform that like, I'm using this platform to educate what freedom is, but meanwhile, Rand Paul, though I'll give him kudos. What he did with you, with the civil disobedience of hiring you as an Uber, that was pretty badass as like a presidential campaign thing to see. So that was actually pretty fucking badass. But I'll give him credit for that. But
no, I like that video. I feel like as like a complete anarchist who doesn't vote, like if I were to vote, I thought that was pretty cool. But I don't trust Rand Paul is the only thing. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, my thing really with him is he's he's doing the political route, so he's really trying to be.
Do you
a
think he's
politician.
faking? Do you think he's an anarchist?
Yeah, do you think he'll be
that
Ron
is the
Paul when
debate.
he comes into office?
He's gonna fire everyone and then himself, kind of thing.
I think Rand Paul will be as libertarian as his environment allows him to. He is a politician. He's not his dad. He's a politician. But if there's going to be a politician in the White House with their finger on the nuclear codes, I want it to be Rand Paul, not Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump.
Oh, absolutely. I can't. Well, I mean, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump would pretty much be the
It's
same
Hillary's
thing.
turn.
Yeah, it is Hillary. What if it becomes like a Hillary Clinton, Jeb Bush race?
That would be great, I think.
It will be a banner year for third parties.
We could actually see a real live actual third party take place if that's the case.
So who got you into Bitcoin? Because I know you're a Bitcoin guy, right?
Yeah, I'm not like super technical about it. I'm not one of the like people who like bought in at the right time and amassed a big wealth. I'm kind of I got turned on to it in 2012. Just, some libertarian friends of mine who were into it, and kind of in the context of, hey, the Federal Reserve sucks, and hey, this might be something that plays into the new monetary system that replaces the current one. Like, hey, decentralized currency. So it's just like a cool thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not super into it, but I feel like we never talked about like the fact that some people think that we should be able to pay our taxes in Bitcoin. I feel like that is kind of like the controversial debate in Bitcoin.
I testified on behalf of that bill. If it were up to me to write a Bitcoin bill, that is not the bill I would have written. But it got introduced and they needed people who were up on the issue to testify. So I volunteered to testify. And, there are people among us who just don't want to pay their taxes. But for the people who do,
they're more than welcome to pay their taxes. Just don't ask me to go along.
Exactly. But to have an option on the New Hampshire government website that says you can pay in Bitcoin. All right, that's cool enough for me to drive once to Concord and like talk. But no, I mean the bill I would have written would have contravened this catastrophic House Bill 666 that just got passed, that made New Hampshire no longer the friendliest state to Bitcoin. More on that maybe.
Keep the state out of our Bitcoin.
Indeed.
Period.
Indeed.
More when we come back. We'll talk about Donald Trump.
Dump the Trump.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move.
That African conference was real. Look, he sent me photos. You said it probably wasn't legit. He sent me photos. Whether this is actually legit or not, there was a Bitcoin conference in Ghana, and like the coordinator was like talking to me. He was on Flaming Freedom and a few other shows, like actually when Ann was on Flaming Freedom, and he just sent me photos. So
let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of
it's Ghana. What do you want? Like, what do you expect? It looks like it looks like a conference room.
101 reasons liberty lives in New
I mean, it looks like they had more people than Keene mentioned.
Yes, sure. Well, go Bitcoin Ghana, people. I'm glad I can see pictures and results.
I mean, I don't know if this is well, there is a picture that says Bit Unit Foundation Ghana Bitcoin Blockchain Education.
Go donate some Bitcoin to Bit Unit. Yep.
Oh,
Bit
Liberty
Unit.
Venue. Check this out. Liberty Venue advertised it. Liberty Menu is this. It's a website dedicated to showcasing liberty-oriented businesses. For some, hey, babe, can you close that door, please? Or Chris, can you? It's like blocking the shot. There we go. But no, Liberty Menu is this really cool website that a friend of mine out in California does. Yeah, Patrick Binder. So you know what I'm talking about.
He sponsored the. He put up the prize for the Free Coast
cliches
Festival
like the
pitch
play.
competition that I pitched at.
No shit. I didn't even know that. That's cool. I actually stayed with him and Mari when I was out in California a year ago. I was out there for like a week. I crashed at their house. He like showed me around like Southern California and shit like that. Then he came to Liberty Forum, partied with them when they got the Liberty Forum. Yeah. I remember he was pitching me the idea of Liberty Menu that back then, like, I got this cool website coming along and da-da-da. You know, it's going to be like this Yelp for libertarians. I'm like, this is cool. And then now it's like he's actually trying to push it like around the world. Like, check this out, dude.
Official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime.
This is from Ghana.
This
is literally from Ghana. It's Liberty Menu.
Or search for LRN.FM in the Android or
Like
Apple app.
that's really fucking cool, man.
Rate it 5 stars, then share the link on social media and let your friends.
The internet makes the world a really tidy place.
Download
You know?
it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. That's apps.lrn.fm.
Freedom Fiends with Michael Dean and his weird friends.
What?
Mr. Michael Dean, and this is my show, Freedom Fiends.
I love that.
I hope you like it. If you don't, I don't really care. I don't make it for the masses. I make it for the cool weirdos who are up late at night. Insomniacs, swing shift workers, the homeless. Yeah.
People in other countries.
People in other countries who are at their day job that's
Who is that
95.
girl
Good
talking?
point. Good point.
I don't know. I forget her
The
name.
unemployed, the underemployed, the worried.
Okay, y'all. Now, if y'all are feeling a little worried tonight,
I
and
know
you got
who
a
it is.
hamster running around in your
Amanda Parsons on Freedom Fiends, like I said.
That is not fucking Amanda Parsons.
Put your hands on your computer.
That is not Amanda Parsons in any way, shape, or form.
Who is it then?
I don't know. I don't listen to Freedom Fiends that much anymore.
That's why you don't know Amanda Parsons.
That is not Amanda Parsons. I guarantee it. I'm friends with her. I know her.
I'm
I
friends
know
with
her
her
voice.
too.
I know her fucking voice.
I
That's
talk
not her
to all
voice.
the time. And she told me she does the show.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. We got Christopher David here in studio, and we're kind of talking about Rand Paul. And I really want to know, what was it like doing civil disobedience with Rand Paul in Portsmouth? Like, I'm actually really curious how that came to be, and what was it like?
Pretty surreal. Rand was having a town hall in Portsmouth, which I was wanting to go to because it's my backyard, and wanted to see if he'd say anything cool relevant to the Uber situation. So I was in my car driving like half an hour ish before the event started, and I got a phone call from Rand's like New Hampshire political director or something like that, and said, "Hey, just wanted to see if you wanted to bring Rand Paul to the event tonight." I was like, yes. It's like, all right, he's at this restaurant in Portsmouth, park outside, I'll meet you there. And, here's the number to text to tell him when you're there. I was like, all right. So put that into the GPS and drove to that restaurant. And I actually, on the way to the restaurant, drove by the Daniel Street Tavern. So I violated my bail conditions in the process of doing this civil disobedience with Rand. So it was like a double civil disobedience.
Were you just
for me.
hoping that he'd pardon you?
It's kind of like, well, bail, whatever. Anyway,
is that why you're supporting Rand? So one day he becomes president, he can pardon you when you're
got something
jail
on
for
him.
Uber
He
activism?
owes me. He never paid me for that ride. That's how he'll pay me back. No, it was great. So, pulled up, and his staffer was like, hey, he'll be out in a second, and said, Rand wants to talk with you and, get some pictures for the Facebook page. I was like, all right, cool. So, parked, and Rand came out and, got first in the back and took a selfie and whatever. And then, I went in the back seat, and his social media lady filmed us this little interview that just was awesome. And, went on to get 120,000 views, one of their most viewed videos. And then that ended, and then we drove over. It was technically was not an Uber ride because I wasn't like on the app. I didn't want to go on the app. They didn't want to like do it that way. I was like,
that makes it so much less cool,
I
man.
know. I wish I didn't know that. No, I'm definitely never voting.
You're now definitely done with politics
No,
because
I'm done forever.
you
It was all a lie.
Don't fuck Rand Paul now. I'm not going to support him. You almost had me with it.
No, but we had a good conversation on the way over, and he's, just. Here's an interesting point about Rand Paul. Like, talking to him, you can just tell that he's like frustrated by the game, and he wants to be his father's son, and he has a lot of people around him who tell him, no, you've got to, sand down these edges, and here's the strategy and type things. And it's just like, interacting with him in that 10-minute period, it's just like, those are the exact characteristics that I want in someone who, is going to have his hands on the nukes. Like, have it be the reluctant guy who's not like this guy who loves politics. I want it to be someone who's a little like socially awkward and doesn't embrace this charade of politics that Trump is on the other side.
He would be
he would
be tenfold better than Trump.
I'm totally opposite. I'm like an anarcho-nihilist. I'm like, who's gonna like bring upon? See, unlike
that's
you,
completely legitimate.
I've been taking knife class. I mean, I just feel like out of chaos, or maybe I just feel like maybe for our system to prosper the way we want, we need to like eliminate it. And I don't know what's better. I just know what we have now isn't good. But I think that the only way this will ever end is kind of like just mass destruction from someone like Trump, who's going to build a giant wall so people can launch grenades at it. Like, it's going to be him.
Trump 2016 for mass destruction.
He has become such a, he's literally, I feel as if Trump is like a caricature of himself almost. Like, listening to him talk, like seeing everything that he does. He's literally playing to like the character of what a conservative, like Republican that hates, it's so xenophobic that hates everyone.
Okay,
like,
the thing is,
what I get across
at your Uber rally, literally, because me and Rob went out there and we were protesting, Chris, because I just felt like, first of all, like, I didn't understand how people didn't see like how just fucked up it was that they came to this guy's house and like they're gonna arrest him. He's gonna miss the birth of his child, all because Portsmouth is just behind in the times and some bully decided to call the cops. And like just arrest him and kidnap him. I just thought it was fucked up. So I wanted to go out there and protest. And then when I went out there, the people who were anti-protesting were saying some of the most fucking obscene things. And I was like, these are the people who are voting for Trump. These people exist that actually have these thoughts. There was a hillbilly out there screaming about how if slavery was legal, his own grandson would be his slave. The ISIS runs Uber. Like,
I'm sure they weren't just drunk.
No.
Like, drunk people.
No. Like, this guy was so upset. He almost got into a fight with one of the protesters. Like, he literally was in the other guy's face. Like, come on.
You know what?
And they had to tell him, like, can you please back the fuck up? Like, it got intense. And I'm like, I can't believe there's people out here that exist. Like, now I see who's voting for Trump. It's these people.
He's getting like a huge amount of, like, he's destroying the polls with the Republicans too. It's getting scary. Like, he's got like 35,
there are
40%.
people with these hateful thoughts out there in the world, and we refuse to see it, and we don't really want to believe it, but it's true. Like, there are people out there who want giant walls built. They want us to like start putting tags on Muslims. Like, there are some very like xenophobic, racist, like hateful people in the world, and I feel like that's why he'll like inevitably win, and that would be horrible. But hell, I don't know what comes after horrible shit.
Well, he would really help. Because I'm kind of one of those firm believers that, in all honesty, I don't think, as much as I want independence to happen, I kind of feel as if the federal government will collapse upon itself before independence happens. Like, it's pretty much a race of which one will happen first. Will states declare independence, or will the federal government just like collapse upon itself?
I never thought about it that way. Maybe Trump will be the key to New Hampshire independence.
I think Trump would accelerate it more than anything else would, and it wouldn't even begin if he ever takes the Oval Office. It would begin the instant that he wins the Republican primary, or looks like he's going to win the Republican primary. And I will note that we're about to trigger the FSP move in the spring. And if around that time it becomes evident that Trump is going to be the Republican nominee, then we've got a lot of, a very solid continuity of, hey, all of this FSP energy, we've triggered the move. Now let's push for independence. We will have a lot of support, I think, if we do that.
Oh yeah, there'll definitely be a lot of support.
If I
There'll
have
be at
anything to do
least
about
20,000 of us here. Like, no, no.
If I have anything to do about, we'll get independence in New Hampshire. Hopefully within our lifetime. Hopefully within the next decade. Hopefully in the next 5 years. But I mean, odds are nothing that close. But
I can't picture the next 5 years, but I know, and I think everyone in this room can agree that if Rand Paul doesn't win, like, we're probably up for some serious shit. Like, we should probably all start hoarding canned goods.
I put it at a decade. I think we'll do it in a decade.
You think we'll have independence in a decade?
Yeah.
Why do you say a decade? Why so quickly?
I honestly think that's on the later end of it, because I think that what's been brewing in the Middle East is about to pop off. You've got Iran, you've got Russia, you've got like all these interweaving actors, Syria and Saudi Arabia. Like I just don't see how like things in that area get progressively worse and worse. At some point, something's going to happen that's going to like set off a spiral. There's this awesome article on antiwar.com called "What World War III Might Look Like," and this article starts with like just some really minor like run-in between U.S. and Iran, like patrol boats that through a combination of like media and entrenched leaders on both sides just escalates and spirals out of control, and then like bombs get like exchanged, and every step from the initial conflict, the initial exchange to that nuclear conflagration, you're like, that's plausible, that's plausible, that's plausible, that's plausible, that's plausible. It's like, shit, this could actually fucking happen.
No, that's true. And even with the whole Russian airstrike, no, not Russian. Oh, well, we're going on break. Well, I have a total brain fart. That's great. Well, more when we come back.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey, who do you think excuse me?
There is no video or audio allowed in this.
No, I have work today. This is you ain't gonna make. Wait a minute. Whoa! Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running? Because you're scared of me. What am I being detained for?
Oh, the part where it says, "Because he's scared."
I love the part when he's like, "No, I have to work today."
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can control your healthcare with Liberty Health Share.
Liberty Health
Hey,
Share.
are you on Telegram?
Together to share medical
Yes.
costs, which saves money.
All right. If we I'm on Telegram as well.
I'll message you my
We all
phone
share
number.
the
All
same
right.
values.
Join the movement of people who share in medical costs and change the way you pay for your healthcare.
I'm on
forever.
Telegram and Signal, and I've seen people debate about which one's more secure. I don't know. I'm on both.
Yeah, I'm on both too.
Healthcare for good. LibertyHealthShare.org. Instead of
Ian's
just listening,
bitching me out about the
also
coughing
watch.
now
See
too.
Liberty
God
Radio
damn it.
Network's Keene, New Hampshire-based live shows via our studio cam at .lrn.fm. Plus, you'll still be able to listen to the Liberty Radio Network via the cam feed in high quality 24/7, even when there's no live show being produced in our Keene studio. But wait, there's more. Our chat room is built into the cam page so you can interact with other listeners online. Listen, watch, and chat, all free at cam.lrn.fm. That's cam.lrn.fm.
I'm bringing it back.
Are you getting
Yeah, you're bringing it
squeezed
back.
by the economic
Okay.
downturn? Hey,
Got
you were
this.
doing fine.
Liberty Phoenix
Then
wants to
all
call
of a
in.
sudden, you're
Oh,
having a
yay!
tough time paying your family's credit.
Hey everybody, just while we're on break, if I haven't mentioned it, go download my audio book. Let's use free speech to exalt revolution BDSM, narrated by Andrew Bush. I'm sorry, by the Rebel Mistress, written by Andrew Bushard. You can download it on iTunes and audible.com. I'll post a link in the chat. Go download it.
It's sexy as hell.
It is sexy as hell. Go download my book, Chris.
And you want to learn how you can pay less.
Are you into BDSM audiobooks, Christopher David? There.
I don't care who's into BDSM.
50 Shades of Grey is as hardcore as I get on that front.
If you're not into it, just go download it anyway for free on Audible.com.
I'm open to recommendations.
The 3 most important things you can do for
And rate me
LRN.FM
5 stars.
are: 1, let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same great prices, and LRN gets a cut. Please do your online shopping at shop.lrn.fm.
We're still going. Wow.
Silver and gold, silver and gold. How do you measure its worth?
I feel like this is the perfect place to announce my 2016 campaign for state rep.
You should.
Nice.
You want to bring it back to that?
This is definitely the perfect place.
Sure.
Bitcoin funds ISIS. Nice.
rrbi.co or call 800-874-9760.
Thank you.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right side of the page.
I want to do some
at
dumb Trump activism.
LRN.FM.
Welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. I am your host, the Rebel Mistress, and I'm here with Rob Mathias and Christopher David. And before we left, we were talking about dumb Trump, or why we're pro-apocalypse. It was kind of leading on both subjects. So Rob, I know you're probably gonna vote in this next presidential election.
No, what? Wait,
So-
what lies are you listening to? Who is spreading this web of deceit saying that I'm going to vote for president?
You, because you vote.
I never said I will vote for national election. Okay, if I vote, I'll probably vote for Vermin Supreme.
Let me say, if I'd ever
or a
vote,
write-in Ron Paul,
He's got a nice
something
boot.
like that.
if I'd ever
He's got a
vote,
great boot.
it'd be for a friend. So Christopher David,
Yeah,
would
when
you
you
like to
gonna
announce
run for?
something?
Yeah, what's your announcement?
Well, I feel like I really should have the joint in my hand when I make the announcement.
Oh, there you go. Wait, we gotta get it.
Come on, hurry up.
We should have
I
done.
got all day.
We should have had it when the joint was like almost just lit, not almost done.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, it's done because I'm working on it. Okay. So no final decisions, but I'm leaning toward running for state rep where I live in Dover, on a platform of getting the government out of your life and let's see, legalizing this stuff and what else? Just having New Hampshire be as independent of the federal government as is humanly possible. The logical end of that is a complete and total separation of New Hampshire from the federal government. And I think that come spring and summer, when that campaign, if I run, is going to really heat up, I think it will become apparent when you look at the presidential nominees that the direction of the party, the direction of the country is going towards militarism, towards the police state, toward all of these things. And New Hampshire does not need to be a part of all of that. If we were to secede and become our own independent state / voluntary republic, whatever, there's this study that came out a couple weeks ago about, if you compare the median income of economies of every state and compare it even to Europe, New Hampshire has the #1 highest median income. Like, we'd be just fine by ourselves. We're what do they call it? Like a donor country. Like, more of our taxes go to DC than we get back. We have an international port, which is partly why I'm so focused on Portsmouth, because in the event of a free and independent New Hampshire, that city, that's our connection to the world. Portsmouth, we need to care what goes on in Portsmouth. So I'm thinking about running for state rep in 2016. I don't know what party I'll be or any of that stuff, but it'll be at least a good opportunity to get the message out.
See, now that's a politician I could get behind. Christopher David, guys, whenever he runs, vote for him.
Well, I'd love to see you get into the state house. Like, I'm not against Porks going into the state house or the state house. I mean, I may be a voluntarist, but I do. want to push as much independence as possible. Anyone that's going in there saying like, get the fuck out of the U.S., like I'm all in favor of it. I mean, too many, like there's so many, and my role Mistress here included usually is see, now I'm defending minarchy, and I hate defending minarchy. I hate being that guy saying, well, we need a government. I don't want a government. My only thing is I want to get rid of a government. If I can if I can leave the federal government, I'm going to support like minarchy to get rid of that one. You know, that's like my trade-off.
You don't have to say that you support minarchy. I don't support minarchy. Like you don't want there to be a government, but you're going to acknowledge that there's this big gang of people with guns, and to completely like not acknowledge their existence is one strategy for survival, but it may not be the most efficient strategy for survival. Like to vote or engage in some kind of political activity as a form of self-defense, I think is an entirely defensible argument for a libertarian.
I feel like it should be, I mean, if you're going to ask me what my ideal state would be, because I feel like that's people's always opposition. Like, what, like, if you don't like this, what do you want? And, like, I don't necessarily know that answer, but I kind of like, I would like a world where we are independent. We're all agorists. And like you said, we have a port there. Like, it's not rocket science. We learn how to trade with other people who wanted to trade with us voluntarily. And I just feel like that would be the ideal state where everyone is just left alone. And maybe there could be like a state government, but I just think that it may be like a city council of people who, not like the fucking city council whose meeting we went to with you, because that was fucking horrible. Like, oh my God. Like, I've never been put through so much torture in my life. If that was like a torture chamber, sitting in Portsmouth City Council while they like bullshitted around, like, I don't know what they were doing. It's like they were trying to bore us out, but they were for real.
On top of that, they had a bunch of taxi drivers testifying against Uber.
Yeah.
And comes out in the news today that one of those taxi companies is going out of business.
The main one.
The main one in Portsmouth.
The main one it's the largest taxi company in Portsmouth. They have been the main anti-Uber agitator. In the very beginning of this process, they sued to get Uber banned. They just now tried to have the Transportation Commission pass file a court injunction. Like, they've been this is the guy who said after the this is the guy who inspired me to start free Uber, because when the ordinance went into effect in mid-September, it was the Portsmouth Herald article featuring his comments that he's going to have his taxi drivers patrol around for rogue Uber drivers and report them to the police. I'm like, okay, we need something to organize against this. That's the guy who runs this cab company, who's had his taxi drivers be the main people harassing Uber drivers. They're going out of business.
So it has to be even more bittersweet than that it's that guy.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I just felt like a lot of the city councils that we have now is just everyone skating around issues. They all have like inside jobs and gigs going on. It was kind of like, an episode of Weeds, where they're like on city council, and he's like, "Oh, I left my friend so and so to take my place, and now he's gonna have our landscaping contract." It was just like a bunch of people like talking about something that they wanted to keep a secret, but they had to say it in front of everyone. I just felt like, why are we sitting here? Like, they're having their own conversation that's not logical. So obviously they know something we don't know, but why sit there and have a meeting in front of everyone? Which was just, I just felt like it was a bit ridiculous, the whole thing.
Well, it's all for show. The thing that really got, the thing that like made me feel awkward, like really awkward, because I don't go to city council meetings. I just don't do it. This is the first one I've been to since like coming to New Hampshire. And when they all got up, put their backs to our face and looked at the wall and all chanted in unison the Pledge of Allegiance. And me and Ann don't stand up. So we're just sitting there. We're like looking at each other.
It's just so culty.
Yeah.
Like, what if the Free State Project had a pledge to the porcupine flag? Everyone would be like, that's a cult.
Yeah, everyone.
Look at those guys. They're crazy. They're
Moment,
pledging the flag.
Yeah. They would think that we're a cult more than we already are, but if you point out culty things the state is, they're like, well, that's the pledge. Like, that's cool.
I've finished saying those words, and the main thing that made me stop was just the whole indivisible part. Like, we are going to stay together through the power of force, and if you try to secede, we're going to kill you. So So I stand up and I put my hand over my heart. You know, I give myself some massage, give myself some Reiki, some love, rub my chest for a few seconds, and then I sit down. I thank them for the opportunity to stand up and then touch myself. You know, but
stretch it out a little bit.
My mouth is closed.
Wiggle it around. But anyway, so I feel like an ideal society, I don't think city council is necessarily a bad idea. I think I'd like it differently. Maybe like a communal circle where everyone has a round table and they don't come and talk about issues, but maybe ways to make things more efficient. I don't know. I don't have the idea of the perfect society. I just know what we live in now just feels wrong. It is wrong. Everything about it is culty. We start indoctrinating children from birth to believe that this is all that it ever can be. And if you start talking anti-government, that's when the police start knocking at your door.
No, they'll start knocking at your door well before you start talking against the state or anything like that.
Well, not anymore. Did you see the secure what was it? The statement that was released that if people are anti-government, that they should be considered terrorist and dangerous.
Oh, that's they keep coming out with stuff like that for like the last 10 years. There's police departments and state governments saying if you have
I feel like that was the federal government who made
you might be a domestic terrorist and shit like that. You know, that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah,
it's weird that they keep doing that and it gets to the point where it's literally they keep saying they're getting caught on this, yet they still go with their own narrative as if not enough people are paying attention to what we're saying, so fuck you, we're still going to be against you, we're still going to do propaganda, we're still going to the state's going to state regardless if people even acknowledge it or not.
Yeah,
they still act as if everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when we come back, I feel like the other way that Uber and free Uber is winning is technology. Technology will beat the state if Donald Trump doesn't cause the apocalypse first. Well, more when we come back. The belief that one day.
All right, FYI, this is a long break. It's like a 10-minute break. So if you want to get up, stretch out, feel free. I'm gonna go get a glass for that
with the mission of ensuring the free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc.
I know, I need it.
Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
So many phones.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right?
Note 3.
Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech.
Sheila just sent me a
IJ
picture of her
helped set
house
the
and she's
first
like,
federal
"Oh,
precedent for internet free speech
no, it's
in
not.
1999.
How long have you been
And
there?
ever since
She's
has
been
worked to
there for
prevent
like a week.
unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free. So sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets. More Rebel Love Show is next, live after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.
Tentatively, the next sauna is January 4th. If you guys want to come out, I just talked to Hero today. He's going to confirm that with me next couple days. But
say that again.
Looking at next January 4th for the next sauna. It's Monday.
Oh,
That's our anniversary. Oh no, January.
with January 4th.
January?
All right. Yeah, I'm more than down.
And according to Bitcoin,
That evening is
average
the
price of Bitcoin is
inauguration of the new city council. If you can hold down your barf, you're welcome to come. Otherwise, you can just come to the sauna.
I feel like I got to go there to pay for the sauna.
I feel like I should go there and hold like the most obscene sign.
The strategy is to play nice. We want to befriend the new council. The new mayor is apparently a friend to Uber. He told Uber grandma that he's gonna like make sure that her situation is resolved. Basically, basically the assistant mayor Splain, who got reelected to assistant mayor, he's going to try to win over the councilors to his side. We need to win over the other councilors to our side. We think that we can because it's a bunch of like younger new people. So we're kind of bringing the sugar during the inauguration, and then we're going to be prepared to show up in force on the first council meeting, which is the following Monday, the 11th. So if you can't be nice, that's completely fine. And just come for the sauna.
I'll be there for the sauna, definitely.
You can't pass up the sauna. Though I actually hope it's cold outside, so we can go out and like sit in the fucking like the wooden thrones in like the middle of the like snow, you know.
This is
And
what
then run
happens
back
when
in.
you become an activist. You get rewarded with saunas.
Yeah, have you noticed that? Like, it's as if like the more activism you do or something like that, the universe rewards you with something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like that seems to happen with me a lot.
Did not see the sauna coming.
No.
it was a softball. It was a curveball. An appreciated one.
It was a pleasant surprise.
It's not a sauna. It's a sauna.
A sauna. Is it Swedish or Finnish?
Finnish.
Fuck. I thought it was Swedish.
You thought you were in an IKEA for a second.
For a second.
Much better than IKEA. He's so nice.
Critics of the new policy have said that gay men are still effectively banned from donating blood because they must be abstaining from sex, but the agency said it does not have research to loosen the regulation any further.
Yeah, if you can find where I hit our bongs.
Other groups subject to the
Yeah, I don't know where you put them, babe. Well, there's one of them. All right, I don't know what's going on with Liberty Phoenix here. I think it's my phone. I keep getting messages.
For nearly 40 years, Robertson
Liberty
Brokerage
Phoenix
has
isn't
been
there,
a
so I'll
trusted
give it away.
source for buying and selling
But
precious
I want to
he
call
has
him
3
right now.
minutes.
silver. They
Give
also
him
take
a few
Bitcoin
minutes.
Yeah, but he said he was already going to be there.
and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid.
Did we just lose the LRN feed?
Probably. It says it's still on. It says it's fine.
Went out for a second.
Reuters reports a Baltimore
That should
police
always
officer
be in,
will
by
face
the way.
trial on
Is that why I went
charges
out?
over the death of Freddie Gray starting on June 13th, according to a Maryland judge on Monday after the officer's first trial ended in a deadlocked jury. The Maryland State Court's office said in a statement that Judge Barry Williams set the trial date after meeting prosecutors and defense lawyers. Gray's death and intensified U.S. debate on police treatment of minorities. The date for the retrial of Officer William Porter in Baltimore City Circuit Court could snarl prosecutors' strategy to use him as a key witness against other officers in the high profile trial. Porter was the first of 6 officers to be tried.
God damn it, Liberty Phoenix. If you want to call, call.
Sustained while in police custody. The jury was unable to reach a decision last week, and Williams declared a mistrial. Porter faces charges of involuntary manslaughter, second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and misconduct in office. The trial of the van driver, Officer Caesar Goodson, who faces the most serious charge of second-degree depraved heart murder, is set to begin on January 6th.
Hey, when the show starts up, can you close that door for me again? Awesome. Yeah, she doesn't really care for being picked up all that much. Other than that, she's cool.
Radio News online at fppradio.com.
.com.
Tomorrow's my big day. I'm going to go in for surgery, and hopefully you'll come along. Now, I do have to admit that I am in a bit of pain, so I'm really looking forward to this procedure. I think we're both going to find out that having surgery just isn't as scary as it sounds.
we're covering our own Jim Haggerty's kidney stone removal surgery, and his surgery is now just minutes away. So, Dr. Atkins, tell us what precautions we would take to prevent us from getting kidney stones.
Always stay hydrated. Water helps the kidneys break the stuff down.
Ah, hear that, Jim? More water.
What?
More water. Maybe we should replace your coffee.
Please go away. Please. Ow, no.
That's a camera they're going to use to film the whole surgery from inside Jim's
Yes, that's
room,
going to be
right?
pushed into Jim's urethra as well.
I think I'm bringing it back. I think you did last time.
This is purely for the
I could be wrong. If you want to bring it back, bring it back. I'm fine with that.
All right, stick with us because first he's going to pop into the children's ward to cheer up some youngsters suffering
If you
from
want to, go
terminal
ahead.
illnesses.
I don't want to. I'm just asking if it's my turn.
Yeah, it is your turn. It is your turn now, babe.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. I'm just sitting here packing a bowl.
It wouldn't be the
as
Rebel
per
Love
usual.
Show if we weren't smoking.
Exactly. So, I mean, I feel like the one thing that I really like about the whole Uber city cancel debacle was that just seeing, I feel like if it isn't Donald Trump with the apocalypse that can free us, maybe it can be technology, because I believe in the singularity. I feel like technology will help humanity evolve past like the pettiness of government. And I feel like Uber definitely demonstrates that in the way that it can't be stopped. Like Uber was illegal, but you can download an app, and as long as you can download that app, you can request an Uber. Like this is, before it gets like really deep and maybe Uber has to pull out but it would be Uber's decision. That's my point. So I feel like in that way, it's kind of giving like us power, like us technology holders, and the government can't keep up with technology, and also they aren't keeping up with technology. Like the city council was so reluctant with Uber, and I just didn't get the point. And I bet if I looked on either like any one of their phones, like it wasn't like they were just like app savvy. They didn't really know anything about Uber. Like they weren't requesting Ubers. They're not going out on the town. But you know what? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, technology is important in that way. We all have access to it. It can take us places. And that's something the government can't stop. And I feel like the whole Uber debacle demonstrated that. Because Uber grandma, she said, I'm going to keep driving Uber. They can keep finding me and giving me tickets. But as long as someone can download that app, they can request Uber. So that's why one way I feel like technology is going to help us evolve. And I asked you if you believed in the singularity, but you never answered, Chris.
Did you ask me that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I believe in it, but I've read Kurzweil's book. I think that it's highly likely that there is a massive transformation that happens when strong AI comes about. And even if it doesn't, okay, let's say the strong AI, just for some reason, it can't happen. Everything else in Kurzweil's book, like leading up to that phenomenon, where he talks about the overlapping revolutions in genetics, nanotech, and robotics, like it's going to revolutionize how humanity has like it's a relationship with its own biology. And I, like Kurzweil, think that our technology, our tools, are an evolutionary force. Like you have to factor them in when thinking about evolution. So I actually see this Uber battle in evolutionary terms. I think that these dying industries that are clinging to this like fantastical idea that some piece of paper gives them the right to use a monopoly on violence to interfere in the private decisions of peaceful economic actors, I think that is evolutionarily on the way out. And it's not even necessarily going to be like an intellectual battle. That's definitely a part of it, but it's going to come down to enforceability. The main problem with this ordinance, despite all the arguments that the proponents to this ordinance and why we just need to protect people's safety and you have to register with the city, the sticking point that's going to end their efforts is the fact that they're going to be increasingly unable to enforce any of these diktats. They're already having trouble enforcing this current ordinance, but they're having trouble getting this, this large startup Uber with its billions of dollars to like play by its rules. So they're trying to crack down on the drivers and pressure the individual drivers. Well, Right now, there is actually a company called Uber that they can negotiate with, that they can demonize. What about when all of this is just a single decentralized protocol on the blockchain, and you'll have no one to negotiate with, and there's no even middleman taking a profit? It's completely people using encrypted technology to connect peer-to-peer. Are you going to try to insert yourself into that? There's going to come a point where they're just going to realize, oh, we actually do not have the mandate. We do not have the ability to police this. And at that point, at the latest, it will stop.
Connected.
No, I hear you on that. Like, I really do feel as if like technology will get to the point where we can get past the idea of like a government or anything like that, because technology like the blockchain, it completely decentralizes everything to where anyone can be their own business. They can be their own, not rely on the government or anything like that. Yeah, decentralization is the key, and I love seeing like just something as simple as an app on my phone is a completely different business model.
But
it's like having that access to it.
It's like you said, they can't police it. They could try, and I feel like at that point when they start really trying to police technology or police like your access to like the World Wide Web or whatever, because there's so much you can do. If they do start trying to police that, I think that is just something that's going to cause, again, mass destruction. So I feel like technology could be the means to like the ends of the government, but I feel like right now, especially with Uber, I mean, technology is increasing at such a rapid rate. We don't know where we'll be at in 5 years, and technology is farther than we think. Is if there wasn't government regulation. That's what's hindering technology from like expanding rapidly, I feel like. So who knows in 5 years?
I love during the council meeting that we went to where like the taxi drivers are saying like how Uber needs Portsmouth, that Portsmouth doesn't need Uber, which is just outrageous to even contemplate that people even think that. Like, this is a company that has an app that operates in multiple countries around the planet, getting people to drive home safely, and is making billions off of it. Do they need Portsmouth to like be a successful fucking business? No, Portsmouth needs them, because that is going. Ride sharing is the future of taxis. Like, taxis will not exist very soon. Like, it's amazing that there's even taxi companies that still run. I don't know how they make money.
Like at this point, like I was in Boston. I went to college in Boston, and there was Uber. Uber was first. Then there was Lyft, and then there was Sidecar, and then there was all these other like cheaper ripoff versions of Uber. But there was Uber, and it wasn't even a question. Like this Uber should be creating competition in Portsmouth. Portsmouth shouldn't be hindering Uber to the point where no other like companies can start up. It's kind of ridiculous at that point that they're trying to police some things that they can't even really understand, and I feel like that's sad, and also makes me not even believe in government one more bit.
Speaking of Uber and Portsmouth going after people, like what's going on with the Uber grandma Stephanie Franz?
I went to her court hearing on a week or two ago. She has her next thing, because she pled not guilty. She rejected the plea deal they tried to pressure her into. She's got the next thing is March the 1st. They're still not sure whether that's going to be like a jury trial or some other kind of something. So still waiting to hear back on that. But she is adamant about continuing to drive. She came out to the rally the other night. She, came out with us for shots afterward. She's a warrior. She was not originally. She was originally very camera shy, didn't want to talk to the press. Press had a hard time getting a hold of her. We kind of trumpeted her cause for a full month before she reached out to us. But when she saw that all of the support was there, she's
Is she
really
a free stater?
No, I mean, not to my knowledge. I don't know much about. I don't think so.
No, she's definitely not. But no, it's awesome seeing like someone like that be inspired and like take civil disobedience. When you like that's also kind of playing like the like we're literally talking about like the characteristic of someone where here we have a grandmother who has a husband that's deceased, is a bus driver for the local school, and wants to get out of the house, and is doing operating for Uber to meet new people and get out of the house, and to help, you know, drunk people get home safely, and is using an app to do so and get paid to do it. And the city of Portsmouth, like, threatening what, $3,500 in fines, $5,000 fines. I don't even know anymore. She's facing jail time almost at this point, from what I can gather.
Yeah, she was threatened with contempt of court charges, which result in jail if you get slammed with those hard enough.
All because she's fucking driving people home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, more when we come back. Let's talk about some cop blocking we interacted. Well, we had to.
Yeah, we haven't told the
deal
story
with
yet
today.
when we get back.
More when we come back.
Do you know how much goes on with like me trying to figure out everything with this? Like, there's so much stuff going on from my side. Like, I gotta mute mics left and right, raise and lower volumes. Like, if we I got like the fact that like I don't know, the XLR cable is going out or something like that. I was trying to fix it. It like literally was jumping. I swear to God.
When will the robots take over and figure this shit out for us?
It jumped from her mic. I was watching the compression button go off, so I'm like, fuck, I can't really mute her. Maybe I'll lower it down. You won't hear the hum as bad. And then it jumped to your mic when you were talking. Like, shit, it's the mixer. I hope the guy's not the fucking mixer. You know, I'm trying to fix that hum. Like, I just had to replace this XLR cable because the XLR cable is literally built into this handle, like, went out. And see, now I'm touching it, and all of a sudden, I think it might be the mic. I really don't want to replace this mic. I love this microphone, and I don't want to replace it.
How did you get that V added on there?
Oh, I didn't. This is just a shiny badge by Davy Barker. I just punctured it through to like the little chrome piece out of front. It looks like it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, it's one of those things where like it called me, like, I gotta get this mic. Like, I was at a Guitar Center. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna have a mic, like, I gotta have like a nice mic, not like just an Audio Technica mic, but I need like a cool looking mic. Though these mics actually sound a lot better. They actually have a better sound to them than this mic. This is more for like recording music than recording audio. But like on top of that, like, I gotta make sure everything's broadcasting correctly. I gotta make sure like it's going to YouTube and it's going to LRN and getting sound issues going. It's a headache every fucking episode.
Is Liberty Phoenix calling in?
I don't know. He said he was gonna call in. I'll try calling him one more time.
Hey, LRN chat. Someone be our first Skype caller in. Come on. Call us on Skype. Rebel Love Show is what it's called.
This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 20.
Like, Liberty Phoenix added us, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to call in." It's like, call in the next hour. It's like, cool.
You certainly know
And then disappeared.
pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. I know this sounds unbelievable, but at my house, we saved as much as 45% off of a new item on Amazon. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you.
These group of people gave a bunch of birds
25%
laxatives
off of everything at
at the
Amazon
beach.
through
They just flew around
saveitpurse.com.
and started
It's
shitting on everybody.
saveitpurse.com. The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
When I found the Free State Project, I knew it was the key to achieving liberty in my lifetime. It's awesome to be surrounded by like-minded, freedom-loving activists who've moved here to New Hampshire. From politics to civil disobedience, we have it all. Where I came from, it felt that no matter what I did, liberty was dying. Perhaps you feel the same way? Call 888-377-2515 now to learn more about the Free State
Sometimes I don't like it when Ian listens in.
or visit Free State Project.
Is he listening in?
Yeah, he's listening.
What did he say?
He's perfectionist, so like if we cough into the mic during the bumper, or how like, you know how like the hum, you know how I just told you about the fucking hum. damn it. And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show, and we're here with Christopher David talking about free Uber. And if you want to Skype in and ask any questions to us or to Christopher, we got Skype going. Just go to Skype and add us as Rebel Love Show, and you can also watch us live, the live studio cam at rebelloveshow.com/live.
Bonus points if you Skype in naked. Anyway, so today was a challenging day. I woke up this morning. I got my coffee. You know, Rob left for work. Smooch, smooch, smooch.
Go pay the bills.
Yeah.
I am the sugar daddy here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't work.
Now you work, baby.
I put in all this
You're gonna be my
voice
sugar mama in a year. I mean, if I have, as your producer, if I have anything to do with it, you're going to eclipse Stephanie Murphy in like 6 months. So that's my goal as your producer. I want to produce the shit out of you to where I don't have to go to fucking work.
Well, I'm down for that, babe. Yeah, I'm working on my second audiobook. It's a novel. It's my first novel, and I'm getting paid per hour for it like a boss. So I'm really excited about that one. You can go download that one too. I'll announce it when I finish it. But anywho, so I'm doing my regular work thing. Renee's out and about. And then all of a sudden, the police are knocking at the door. And
Merrimack Sheriff's Department.
And I was just like, I didn't know, like, at first, because their outfits don't look like the Manch PD. They kind of look
the fact
more
that you
khaki-ish.
know what the Manch PD, like their uniforms are so
memorized their
recognizable
uniforms.
that like there's a different fucking cop at the door. Like, who the
I
fuck are
was like,
you?
who the fuck is this guy? Like, at first I thought maybe it was someone from the church, and then Riker was really excited, so I was like, okay. And then I seen a badge, and I was like, no, who the fuck is this? And so I kind of cracked the window, and I was like, can I help you? Like, why are you at my house? And they were like, oh, yeah, can you open the door? I was like, no. And I was like, can I help you? And they're like, oh, I'm looking for so-and-so. And I'm like, okay. Like, do you have a warrant or something? And they're like, no, we didn't bring it with us. And then I closed the window immediately because I'm like, okay, like, you have nothing else to say. You don't have a warrant. You just showed up at my house asking for someone who doesn't live here, like, in some foreign fucking uniform. I know you're not Manch PD, and there's just two strange men with guns at my door in the middle of the day, like. And so I closed the window. And so he keeps banging, and he's like, are you going to let me in? And I don't say anything. He's like, let me in. Like, if you don't let me in now, you're going to get arrested. I'm going to come back with that warrant, and I'm going to arrest you. You don't want to get arrested for him. And then I just start recording, and I put my phone in the window, and then he starts banging like on the window. Like, he goes to the door, tries to open it, like, and I have to deadbolt it. And then he just continues to like bang on the window. Let us in, let us in. Like, I know Jared, this so-and-so's in there. And I'm like, oh my God, like, who does this guy think he is? And so I can't lock the window. I just leave my phone in to record. And then I start going around the house, collecting my valuables and putting the dog away because I know cops shoot dogs, and that's my baby. So I didn't want him to get hurt. And he's still banging at the window this whole time. And so I start calling Rob, and I want to let him know what's happening. And the most important thing is just let everyone know what's going on as soon as this is happening, because I'm alone by myself, and I don't need like some cop busting in here and like shooting me in the face, and I don't have any evidence of it. And he gets angry, like when I was asking him for a warrant, like it was just on his face. Like, how dare this person ask me about her rights? Like, how dare you? No, fuck you, guys.
Question my authority.
Yeah, question my authority. Like, how dare she not talk to me? Like, no, I'm not gonna fucking talk to you. And from there on, they go about patrolling up and down the street, like stalking me. So these two strange men with guns showed up at my door asking for someone who doesn't live there. I told them they can't come in. They try to force their way in, open up my window, and push my recording device to the ground. Leave my house and start stalking me. So I'm calling Rob. I'm like, okay, I'm just so uncomfortable at this point. And then he comes home.
Well, yeah, I come back on my lunch break. So this is like 30 minutes before my lunch break at my day job. You know, I actually don't make, any money doing, actual activism. Like, I make money off of, being a productive entrepreneur and all that shit. And so I come on my lunch break back home, and immediately as soon as I get out of my car, I'm walking up to the door outside of the Rebel Love Studios here in Manchester. and I get approached by 2 cops, and I'm like, what the fuck are these people? Like, what the fuck's going on? You know? So my first instinct is immediately, what do? I go to my phone. Like, you go to your phone, you hit record. Now, I had my hands full because I'm coming back with like coffees. So I'm bringing coffees back to my real mistress here because she's freaking out, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I hate the fact that there's cops at my door, especially when I'm not there. Like, I feel like I need to be there to protect my home. Anyways, so I come home and I had to grab my phone, but my hands are all full of fucking coffee. So like the only thing I could do is like I get my phone, and then the camera's stuck in selfie. I'm like, I have like one hand like a pinky because I'm holding a coffee. I'm holding this with another hand. So like I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna record with the selfies. I'm holding like the camera up like this to the cop, and the cop, this sheriff, you know, he's, I need to talk to you. And like in the very beginning, I'm like, okay. And we just look at each other and just like this dead silence. Like, he didn't want to talk on camera. I literally had to tell him. I had to tell him to talk.
You're like, speak.
Like, this is where you talk to me. Like, this is where you speak. And they want to know where this person was. You know, I'm not going to talk. I don't talk to cops. Don't tell cops shit. Now, mind you, I do talk to cops, but I don't tell them anything or try not to. And in this video, it's not on YouTube yet. Well, I'm going to edit it down because there's moments where it's just, there's a long time where it's writing a ticket and nothing's going on, shit like that.
Well, there's multiple angles.
Yeah, and there's multiple angles, so I kind of want to make a quick little video of it. And that'll probably be on YouTube before I actually even release this episode. So stay tuned.
I was scared. Can we pause? I was scared you were gonna get arrested.
Me too, because holy shit, like this cop, like because I wouldn't talk to him, because I wouldn't cooperate with the police. They decided, like, they saw me pull up my car, and I won't lie, my car's not. It's a month past
he was profiling, but yeah, he was profiling.
No, they were fucking facial profiling.
Looking for something.
No, they were facial profiling because of the beard. That I'm a cop magnet. I swear to God, cops. In New
it was
Hampshire.
Just because of your fucking
Be
ghetto
careful,
car.
Christopher David. I don't know about you. Are you getting like pulled over left and right or anything like that with that fucking beard?
It's not your beard, Rob. He was profiling your car. He like literally looked at you. He was talking to you. He couldn't get anything out of you. He went back, looked at your car, and he was like, look at this fucking piece of shit car. Something's got to be out of date or broken on it or stolen. He was like, oh, well, and then he went back to his car, ran it, and then it was like, oh, yes, I found something. Hey, well, your sticker isn't the right color, so pay us a bunch of money.
Yeah. And they demanded,
since you don't want to tell me where your friend is,
they demanded that I show my ID,
or they would arrest you,
or they would arrest me. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? They're gonna give me a fucking ticket anyways. You know, they're gonna ticket me for what they assume is my car anyways. And you know, I give my ID, and I'll bring it back when we come back for this. I'll finish my story on what happened outside the Rebel Love studio.
They may come back.
Money, power.
Feel free to jump in if you have any commentary to that. I do want to after we talk about what happened outside earlier today with the police. I do kind of want to go into the culture of the Free Coast with you. Yeah.
There's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems,
Star Wars
way.
spoiler.
Jesus Christ, I've been avoiding Facebook.
Like sometimes I'm like staring at it and then my mind just totally blanks once I know Star Wars.
Use those 2 tools in your new corporate credit engine, so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded.
So Renee of the Anarchics was asking how's everything going. And I'm like, why don't you just fucking call us? Call us to the show or listen. Like I'm literally we're like talking about it. And she knows we're on right now. I mean, she lives in this fucking house.
Can I just state my beef with like some libertarian trolls out there? Like, the police just tried to come in our house and like violated, I feel like, my rights. And like, I still get trolling posts like, oh, I feel like this was ghetto. Like, post what the cops did wrong and prove that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, their presence was wrong. They have no right to try to come into my house when I say no, you cannot come in.
You know what? Another thing that pissed me off, and there's a couple of people that commented on the because all I did is release this as a Facebook video. As of right now, it's not on YouTube or anything like that. And there's a couple of comments where like, this damages the liberty movement, blah blah blah.
Really?
I'm like, holy shit, this isn't even fucking activism. This is like cops coming after someone and going to your home. And what are you gonna do if the cops are at your door? Like, I'm not fucking filming cops for fucking activism.
Like,
I'm filming cops because they're fucking cops in front of me threatening to kidnap me.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that's why I'm fucking recording. It's not fucking activism, not fucking part of the liberty movement. It's literally a fucking cop in front of me, and I'm pissed off. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna like record them. I'm not doing it as a form of activism. I hate fucking cop blocking.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're doing it as a form of activism or not. It's you protecting your rights and standing up against the cops. And no one should have a problem with that. Like, how is that violating the liberty movement? Is you moving here and saying, no, you're not going to fucking tread on me. I'm going to record you. I'm going to say what I feel to you because you're a person who's violating my rights. You're like, and that's what that is. So I don't understand. Like, I hate those fucking comments. Like, I don't understand why people troll that way. Because if we're all in the same agreement that we want to move here to be free individuals, why would you ever for 1 second be like, oh, well, the cop came to your house, like, but you yelled at him. Fuck you.
Yeah,
of
course I fucking yelled at the cop, you know. And when I bring this back, I will like talk about the video for a second because I view videos like this as if it's a learning hospital, and I'm going to talk about it when I come back. But a lot of times I feel as if I don't have like the best strategy toward talking to cops. I'll do different things, and I do like criticism on it. Actually, we probably could play the video on the break or even online. I mean, on the air.
Yeah. We can play it when we bring it back.
We can go into it. We can actually play it into it.
Yeah.
Wholesale costs from all products from that purchase will go to antiwar.com.
Whoa, I did not want to fucking do that.
War is the health of the state, and Roberts believes that banks are its sustenance. Banks drive war. Why use their money? By investing in
Oh, I have a screen capture.
What's that? What's up? Well, I need to talk to you. Huh? Okay. Yeah.
I have to be honest.
Huh? Go ahead and okay. I need to talk to you about Jared. Who? Jared. Who's been living here? There's no Jared that lives with mine. Okay. What apartment are you in?
This is when I'm trying to be nice.
Are you in two?
But that's true. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He doesn't live here. And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. We're here with Christopher David of Free Uber. Go check out his page on Facebook. Give it a like.
And if you're watching during the break at rebelloveshow.com/live, we're watching the video that took place earlier today in front of the Rebel Love Studios, which I'm talking about. I apologize bring that into the break. I didn't catch that. That's a rookie mistake on my part. But yeah, so basically, if you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Rebel Love Show, we have on there a video that took place. It's just raw footage from my camera. It's not raw footage from anything else. And basically, the Merrimack Sheriff's Department came in and was looking for someone in the porcupine community. I'm not going to talk to the cops. I'm not going to tell them anything. Now, in this video, I did a lot of talking. I shouldn't have done that. My issue is whenever there's cops in front of me, I just don't want to say nothing. Like, I want to like tell them how much I'm pissed off that they're like in my presence, detaining me, requiring me to show fucking papers, like outside of my, outside of the studio. Like I'm just living my life. Leave me the fuck alone. Why are you detaining me? I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. And they're not my thing was they're not asking, where's Ann? Where's Rob? They're asking for some guy who doesn't fucking live at our house.
Right?
So it's
this
just
person
like
doesn't fucking live here.
He doesn't live here. Like, I don't know why you would think he would. Like, and it's just so disrespectful that you just feel like you can just bust up in a stranger's house and be like, hey, do you know so and so? That's like if I came in your house with a gun and was like, hey, you know Mike? Like, who the fuck is Mike? Like, you know, like I couldn't do that to you. So why should two strange men like with badges on be able to bust in my house and ask me for someone who doesn't live there? Like, no, this conversation is over. You didn't ask me for anyone's name who's on the lease or the mailbox. Get away from my house. Like, this conversation is over. Like, that's literally the attitude I had towards it. And that's why I just can't understand like why people are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, fuck these guys.
You know, absolutely. And see, my thing, I will use these videos as like a learning hospital. Don't always do what the fuck I do in these videos. The fact that I make cop videos pisses me off because I really hate doing this shit. I don't like doing cop videos. I don't like putting up video of me interacting with cops. And in all honesty, I don't do it. I don't even do it as fucking activism. I'm not as much as I like the idea of cop block and everything like that. And I do film when required of me to do so, which is unfortunately more often than I like to be. I don't like actually doing it. And in this situation, this wasn't activism. This wasn't like, you know, liberty outreach or whatever the fuck you want to call it. This was me like, you know, documenting my interaction with a government agent that's literally at my doorstep, threatening me with kidnapping, all because I'm not cooperating with him, who I don't even have to cooperate with to begin with. And on top of that, because I wouldn't cooperate with them, they saw the car I pulled up with, and, you know, full honesty, like, I haven't registered my car with the local officials.
But still, it was
1
a
month
parked car.
behind, and
You
but it's a
weren't
parked
driving.
car. I'm not fucking driving
You're
the car.
walking in your house, and
Yeah.
he decides like, oh, you're not going to cooperate? Well, I'm going to give you a ticket.
Yep. It was also because I was filming, because here's these two people literally sitting right outside my door, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to keep recording until you leave. So that's what I did. I kept recording until they left.
Thank God you did, because you got this petty interaction. You got exactly what happened. Like them harassing you about someone, like just harassing you about someone you saying you don't know, and then them trying to like extort you.
Yeah.
Because like it's just you filmed that whole interaction, and that's what's important. Like technology, man, technology. You got it out there, and we got it out there fast.
So many people don't record when they're in front of police. Like someone will say, "Oh, I got pulled over" or something like that. You know, they won't say that.
Pull out your camera.
Yeah,
if I didn't
record.
pull out my camera, they probably would have tried to come in through the window. Like literally, I felt like they were just so aggressive that if I didn't have my weapon, a camera, like who knows? I would have said, no, don't come in my house. Deadbolted the door. He would have kept trying to like bang on the window and open the door. Like, and I wouldn't have had any of that on video. It's just my word against his. But I got a camera. You can see him being aggressive. And, you know, this behavior is just unacceptable. And I don't care who he's looking for, what they did. I don't care.
What comes to mind is the fact that just with technology, I mean, you put a camera on someone and they don't know how many people are watching. And it's like, theoretically, if what they were doing was bad enough, there could be up to 7 billion, like however many billion of people could be watching him right now. So you have these institutions that are accustomed to doing like dirty acts in the shadows. And our ability now to get cameras in their faces, to shine a spotlight on what they're doing, and to say, hey, yep, you're being watched. And if we can get better at like kind of, you know, hey, this needs to have 1 million eyeballs on it right now. These institutions that are coming after people that are doing unjust actions, that are just killing people for no good reason, you shine enough of a spotlight on them and they will wither and die. My favorite quote is, what is it? Something like, anything that can be destroyed by the truth should be. Hey, truth's coming, baby. Like a lot of this shit's going to be destroyed, and relatively easily. We just got to shine enough spotlights on you.
So we got a Skype call right now from the LRN studios. I'm assuming this is Ian. Ian, you there?
No, it's Renee.
Renee. Oh,
dickhead.
yeah, I told you to call in.
Hi, Renee.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going pretty well.
Has everything been okay since I left?
Hi, Jazzy. Hi.
Yes,
Oh,
everything
Jazzy,
has
you're
been
right.
fine since you left. Yes.
Okay, no further interaction.
No, they haven't been back. Thank God.
Yeah, they haven't been back since,
Baldies.
thankfully.
Fucking assholes.
I know. But you know, they haven't been back yet. Thanks for coming back out.
Do you have any key advice on how to interact with cops, Renee, since you were called ghetto, I think?
Yeah. Typically, don't fucking interact with them, because usually it just means trouble. However, when they're banging on your door and making threats, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, we could have theoretically just ignored them. They would have just continued to bang on the door. But I definitely am glad we addressed the issue, because otherwise we wouldn't have known what was going on and it would have made it even worse.
Hey,
no, I definitely think addressing it is fine. I hate when people say don't say anything. Like, no, say the basics. Why the fuck are you at my house? Please leave.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
leave.
Renee, with the video that I recorded and you jumped in at the end, and then you weren't there for the whole part, but I know you watched it. Like, what criticism do you have? Like, do you think we talk too much or whatnot? Like, what's your take on it?
I mean,
I thought I did. I thought I talked too much, but I was caught off guard.
What?
I know I talked I talked way too much, but I was caught off guard. Like I shouldn't have talked. But I wasn't prepared to. I wasn't walking in prepping myself like I'm going to be, talking to police. I know I'm going to say my mind. Like I turn around, they're like fucking there, like right behind
because they
me.
were stalking us.
Yeah,
like
they were literally harassing us, and I flew off the handle. I totally flew off the handle. I prefer to talk to police politely and rationally until they give me a reason not to. So I mean,
He had already given a reason not to. He had already given a reason not to when he started fucking banging on our window and then stalking us for the next 2 hours.
And then not even elaborating. Literally, he wasn't even going to answer my question. I said, "What the fuck do you want with Jared?" And he's like, "I want to arrest him." For what? For what? I had to ask how many times until he would even tell me what the fucking problem was, and then still wouldn't give me more information. Yet he's banging on my door, threatening to arrest us, and won't even tell us what's going on? Go fuck yourself and get the fuck off my porch. Who do you think you are? And how did he get our address?
That's another thing I don't know. The fact that they had our exact address
and they came to us,
apartment number, like that. I found that kind of creepy because he doesn't live here. Like he's here like maybe once a week from my perspective.
But who
like,
gives a fuck? This isn't his house. You have no
address.
Right. It doesn't matter. Like this isn't his house. Like his name isn't on the lease. Like it doesn't say he's a relative or kin of ours. Like
I took one for the team on this one. All right.
No, you didn't. Because guess what? If you hadn't have come back, like, well, we're about to go on break. But I'm
thanks for calling in, Renee. You were to Skype first.
You popped our cherry, Renee. Congratulations.
Oh.
All right, FY, next segment, because it's on our last segment, I really do want to get back. Renee, I know you're there, but I do want to go into like the culture of the Free Coast, which is pretty better last segment.
Ken messaged you, so we got to talk about it with Ken.
I'm not bringing Ken. I don't have time. We only got one segment left. He missed this opportunity.
Be in the last segment with us. Why are you being such
because
a
he's a
Nazi
talker.
about Skype?
He's a talker. I love Ken. I love that guy. Don't get me wrong.
I don't like your Skype rules. I feel like anyone who wants to call on Skype can get a few seconds.
And sadly, we're getting reports that even
all right, if he has a good question,
yeah, they can ask.
Anyways, Renee, what are you still doing in Keene?
Noah's here.
Oh, that's
hi,
right.
Noah.
Is Noah there right now?
Yeah, say hi, Noah.
Hey guys,
hey Noah, what's going on? Go AWOL, please. Thank you.
Go AWOL?
Yes, thank you.
I'm working on it. He's on holiday. But that is official leave, dumbass.
Well, you just said it on air, so.
I wish.
There's a million people named Noah in the world. There's 1,000 guys named Jared. How the fuck am I supposed to know who you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I'm livid. Honestly, I swear to God, like what I told you guys, like.
You think it was her? I asked her. I wrote it on her wall.
And literally, she messaged him and was like, I was so sad. I was crying because of everything that people were saying about me. Immediately playing victim, like sold. She's a pathological liar. She's a fucking psycho cunt. That bitch is fucked. That bitch is fucked after today. Like,
but what if it isn't her? What if she can prove it's not her?
I doubt it isn't.
What if it's like what if it's like a serious hater who's like literally just trying to like they found that website and they were like, oh my god, I'm gonna call the police and have them go to the Rebel Love Club and like bust that shit up and get raided.
Well, Jared keeps the circles real fucking tight. How would they have it down to the exact apartment number?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's gotta be her. It's
Hey,
gotta
do you have?
be.
Hey, Renee, do you have a camera?
I don't think so.
Damn. I was gonna
Yeah,
try
I know,
something.
but Ian said it doesn't work.
It's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think it would just give you like the LRN banner or something.
No.
Fuck you and your LRN banner.
No camera
Sorry.
for you.
I don't know how to work shit in here.
Anyways, hey, before your show, you're doing Friday, right?
Yeah.
All right, before Friday, let me show you how to get the Skype working within like the computer and like
Yeah,
the video
no, because I'm
on.
probably gonna be going pretty much solo unless you guys are around.
I'll join in if you want.
Wait, you're gonna do a Christmas?
Maybe.
But I
'Cause
have
we're
to
doing
do
a-
Flaming Freedom.
We're
I'm
doing a
gonna
lot
do
of
a
radio
Fuck
this
the
week.
Police Christmas special.
Well, I was gonna do an XXXmas Christmas special for Flaming Freedom.
hey, Renee, I wanna let you go going into the before the break.
Okay, fine.
All right, sorry.
It's okay.
We only got one segment left, so I want.
I only got one segment left. I want to talk about the free coast. I don't want to talk about the harassment that happened earlier today.
I don't have Chris in the studio every
We'll
day.
talk
I
about
only got
it on
15
the
minutes
Fuck
left.
the
I want to
Police.
utilize it. No offense.
Okay. I'll be back tomorrow.
All right, peace.
All right, peace out, assholes.
Fuck, I didn't say bye, Felicia. God damn it. She does that all the time.
Bye, Felicia.
Get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit the Liberty Radio Network.
Yeah, today's the first time I've ever actually done a Skype call. Like the fact that I know it sounds,
Congratulations, Rob.
no, okay, that sounds horrible and stupid. Like, how hard it is to take a Skype call. Skype is going out to LRN. All right, so which is really weird. So like she's in the LRN studio right now. She called on the LRN Skype. All right, and she called in, comes through the internet. All right, goes into this fucking computer, comes out of the audio port at the front of this computer into this mixer.
And how does that happen, Rob?
All right, magic.
No,
Comes into
he
here,
really
and then
believes
through a
in-
mix minus
Chris.
goes through a USB soundboard to
Chris.
this PC over here, which then goes through TeamSpeak out to LRN.
Chris, he literally, Chris,
Which back where she
listen-
was. to
Listen
begin
to
with.
me. Listen, he literally.
All right, welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. We're here with Christopher David, Uber activist extraordinaire, and he's our first-time guest. And we're talking about what happened earlier today with the police and all that jazz. And we'll have a video later on in the week, hopefully, if I'm not too much of a slacktivist, kind of edited, kind of talking about what happened. And kind of using that as a learning hospital. But before we go, because we're coming out the bottom of the hour, this is the last segment, and Chris being the first-time guest on here, I really I enjoy talking about like the culture, what it is to be a libertarian, especially within the Free State Project. And each area, each geographical area of the FSP has like a cultural identity,
I wrote a gangster rap about the Free Coast, actually.
which you'll see at Liberty Forum at a stand-up comedy improv thing that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so go buy tickets to Liberty Forum because Mistress here, she's going to be doing some improv stand-up comedy. That's going to come up in a couple of months.
Yeah, I'm promising my rap battle. But yeah, I definitely feel like the Free Coast is like this different.
Well, I mean, normally,
world.
here's the thing.
Well, there's no
Normally-
saunas in Manchester.
that we know of. We got to do a little more exploration, but maybe there are some saunas in Manch. But I mean, the cultural identity of Keene, like it or not, like a lot of people think of them as dirty hippies. Manch is kind of like that, but more on the sex side, it seems, because of I don't know.
I feel like
The whole
that's
poly thing is a
completely
lot
wrong.
bigger in Manch.
No, I feel
just
like
known
that's
for being poly.
I feel like that's all your perception. I feel like Manchester is more the hippies, and I feel like Keene is more of like
the dirty hippies.
No, Keene is just more of like the cop block people with cameras in your face.
Okay,
Like
maybe.
media whores.
Well, Concord's like
Keene
the
is media
politicos.
whores.
The Lakes region is like, all the older conservative crowd. Maybe not. I know there's younger people out there. Don't hate on me.
No, I would say
and then
no.
there's the Free Coasters. And
You
normally the
forgot
Free Coast.
Grafton.
Well, I would talk about Grafton, but they don't do anything on the internet, so who knows what their cultural identity really is like, except for the fact that they're technological. They don't like technology. Anyways, the Free Coast. Normally with the Free Coast, you had this cultural identity of, rich people, smelling their farts in wine glasses at the Praxium. And here comes Christopher David out of nowhere going to Portsmouth, looking like you walked off the set of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, getting, you got the Liberty beer going on. You got the walkie-talkie in hand, protested the Down Street Tavern and
as he
doing
strokes
civil
his beard.
disobedience. And you're creating like a paradigm shift in the cultural identity of the Free Coasters, because they're accepting this, from what I can tell. This activism, they're very supportive of you, and it's fascinating. I really want to know, what is it like going full Keene in the Free Coast?
I'm a believer in a voluntary version of e pluribus unum, out of many one. Different strokes for different folks. Also, like, Keene has great things going for it. Manchester has great things going for it. Free Coast has great things going for it. The North Country has great things going for it. We need to be in communication with each other and borrow from each other what is good and what is not good. And we need to be, there needs to be a little bit more of a kind of a fraternal spirit. Like, my favorite fucking evening of the past 3 months was the thing where everyone came over for the sauna, and
that sauna was so fucking
and you've got people from Keene and Manchester and the Seacoast.
There's
in the
people
same
from
room.
Nashua, and Nashua doesn't even have a fucking Liberty.
People from everywhere. You got 15 people from different places around the state, all different backgrounds, like getting fucking naked and going into a sauna together, and then sitting around a fireplace and just having beers and just talking with each other and hashing shit out. And oh my God, we're all people, and I didn't know you except from Facebook, but you're a really cool person. Hey, maybe we should need some more of that. Now, that
was beautiful, because it literally was kind of like a meeting place of, like, there's representatives from pretty much every single geographic location in that sauna.
And we have the second of that night is tentatively scheduled for January 4th. You can hit me up on Facebook for details, Christopher David, which you should all friend me anyway. My shit's public, but friend me. I need friends to validate.
I've been loving your posts.
If my friend counts under 1,000, I think less of myself. So friend me on Facebook. But that's where I'm coming from, and I'll defend the branding that certain of the prominent Free Coasters have set so far, which was what attracted me to Free Coast. When I moved to New Hampshire originally, I lived in Manchester for a year. I moved out to California. I came back. I settled. I lived in the Quill for 2-3 months. I love the Quill.
Oh yeah,
I love everyone in Manchester, and the Quill is a big fucking drama suckhole, and there's parts of it that just are anathema to productivity.
I agree. Yeah, the Mac.
And around that time, I went to the first Free Coast Festival, and I'm like, oh wow, Portsmouth is nice, and they have nice things here.
Last time I saw you until Keenvention.
I succumb to the siren song of the Free Coast, and I like the Free Coast, and it helps that there's a shit ton of young families in the Free Coast, and I now have a young family, just had a baby a month ago, so that's it in a way that lines up with what I'm doing. And in addition to that, the people out there by and large are hardcore voluntarists and fucking hate the political system. So these people happen to really like the Uber activism, and I think everyone does and should, because it's entrepreneurial, principled revolt against established bureaucracy. Like no one in their right mind is going to oppose that. And so if that's something that can bring people together, and after the end of a protest, go out for a fucking naked sauna, let's mix all this shit together.
Yeah, I think you brought the best of all worlds into there. But I mean, I really like Portsmouth. And I like the Free Coast, and I'm glad that we know someone up there now, because we didn't really have any friends up there, and now just one naked sauna night, we have a bunch of friends. And I feel like that's awesome. So I can't feel like we all can get together, and we all have different things to offer. I like Portsmouth. I don't necessarily want to live there, but I like to go visit. So, it's good to network. And I feel like that's the only bad thing about Facebook drama, is sometimes you'll disagree with someone and they ban you from a certain group, and then you don't have the chance to interact with those people, and you don't make as many friends in certain areas, and you don't visit as much. So I think that can kind of be a downfall, but I feel like my gangster rap that I'm going to rap at Liberty Forum is just about how there's a place for all kinds of activism. and you know, it's all different, but it's all for the same cause.
Well, that's one thing I love. I mean, love it or hate it, like one thing I really do love about the FSP is the fact that everyone comes here and they do their own thing. You know, I love seeing people doing their own activism, starting something different, starting something new. The fact that the Seacoast is getting growth, like the fact that you see activism even coming out of the Lakes region, and you see people moving to different geographical locations. Grafton's doing their own thing, trying to take over the entire city. So I'm told they don't post anything on the internet, so I really don't know for sure. It's just word of mouth.
If people don't post something on the internet, you know? Does it exist?
Say what now?
If you don't post it on the internet, does it exist?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist. Not at all. That's why you should film the cops. But I really do love the fact that like there's you have choices, like the fact that we're so big, you know, and we're still very niche and very small, but the fact that we actually have the ability to have that number of people be in different geographical locations, do their own thing, but at the same time still network, still come to the same meetup, still meet the same people.
And it's like PorcFest is like the mecca of that all. You know, all those people from all those different locations can come together, and people who want to live here or play or for the Free State Project, like Chris said, the move will be triggered soon.
I actually really
and they'll be everywhere.
I actually really hope the move's going to be triggered at PorcFest. Like
because our wedding's at PorcFest.
It's going to be sooner.
What if it's on our wedding day?
That would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Well, everyone can definitely find our wedding registry at rebellovesforever.love if you want to get us anything.
Yeah, most of that stuff is actually for our wedding.
Yeah, it'll be incorporated. Yeah, except for like an espresso maker. So if you want to buy us that, go for it. But Chris here just had a baby, so we're next.
No, we have 4 years and like 10 months.
Maybe.
Actually, about 9 months.
Your first can hang out with my fourth or fifth.
You plan to have that?
What?
Many?
I'm building an army, man. I'm gonna have
every year?
Somewhere between.
You're gonna outbreed the status.
Somewhere between 4,000 and 10,000.
4,000 and 10,000.
We'll see how the singularity develops, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I 4 to 10 years. I hope I'm with the young moms in Portsmouth.
Look,
I could live in Portsmouth. We could do that one day. That would be nice.
Yeah, just be like super baller, where like you're making.
Or you
so
can just
much
work
money.
like at your current job, but in Portsmouth.
If I went to Portsmouth, I would be a rock star there.
I love their bakeries. I like Portsmouth a lot. So, I mean, I don't know. We'd be the dirty hippies there, but that'd be cool. So, if you could leave the show with any parting words of wisdom, Chris, what would that be? Leave us spread your love, man.
I'd say stay tuned to what we're doing with Free Uber. It's about to morph into something a little bit more statewide and epic and have an entrepreneurial agorist component to it, where if you want to undermine the state and make money at the same time, go to Free Uber on Facebook. Click like, friend me on Facebook, Christopher David. Let's be friends and overthrow the government together.
Peace,
Thank
guys.
Since time began, tyrants
This should
have
be
taken
quoted.
aim at personal
Thanks for being on, dude. That was awesome.
I appreciate it. Invite